You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 10th of August. Death toll climbs to 26 in India's flood-hit Kerala province. Indian Foreign Minister meets Swiss counterpart in New Delhi to boost bilateral ties. And Afghanistan takes control of its own airspace. And now for all the details. Death toll climbed to 26 on Friday due to floods triggered by incessant rains in India's southern Kerala province. Disaster management teams and army have been deployed in various parts of the province in order to aid the administration with disaster relief and rescue operations.
Death toll rose to 26 on Friday in India's southern Kerala province due to floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains. To accommodate the rising water levels, shutters of few reservoirs in the region have been opened. The incessant rains have caused distress in livelihood for residents, as many have displaced and are struggling to survive the situation. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan on Thursday said that disaster management teams have been deployed to carry rescue and relief operations.
Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, NDRF, Military Engineering Service ഇവയുടെയെല്ലാം സേവനം ആവശ്യപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്.
Rainfall is important for India as a major section of its 1.2 billion population is engaged in farming and depends on rains. However, excessive monsoon rains this year caused major rivers across India to swell, causing floods and widespread loss of property and life.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on Friday held talks with her Swiss counterpart Ignacio Cassis in Indian capital New Delhi. Both the leaders held discussions on a wide range of issues of mutual interest and reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral ties.
India and Switzerland on Friday discussed topics including financial and tax matters, trade and investment, and also reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral ties. The discussions were held during a meeting between Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj and her Swiss counterpart Ignacio Cassis at the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. The Swiss leaders' four-day trip to India marks the 70th anniversary of a friendship treaty signed between the two countries on August 14, 1948. During delegation-level talks, the two ministers also touched upon topics like tourism, consular matters, traditional medicine and climate change. Switzerland is India's seventh largest trading partner. The total bilateral trade, including merchandise exports, bullion, IT services and software exports, amounted to $18.2 billion between the two countries in 2016-17.
A huge cache of arms and ammunition was discovered after an encounter in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province, senior army officials said on Friday. 5 militants were killed during the prolonged encounter which took place in Baramulla district of the province on Wednesday and Thursday.
Indian security forces recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition from slain militants in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province after an encounter, senior army officials said on Friday. Security forces gunned down 5 militants during a prolonged encounter which took place in Baramulla district of the province. The gunfight had erupted on Wednesday when security forces were conducting search operations in Rafiabad area of Baramulla, and it ended on Thursday. A senior army official said the analysis of the items recovered suggest that militants belong to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba terror group.
On detailed search of the area, 4 AK-47 rifles, 1 pistol and large amount of warlike and sustenance stores were recovered. Analysis of the recovered items suggests that the group belonged to Lashkar-e-Toiba Tanzim. The group had probably infiltrated recently across the line of control.
India accuses Pakistan of regularly arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in the Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Moving on. A protest was held outside the British High Commission in New Delhi on Friday against the Khalistan Referendum 2020 rally slated to be held in London on August 12. The protesters blamed the campaign for a separate state for Sikhs was being supported by Pakistan, which aims to fuel anti-India sentiments.
A protest was held on Friday outside British High Commission in Indian capital New Delhi against the Khalistan Referendum 2020 rally to be held in London on August 12th. Demonstrators from the Sikh community and the civil society under the banner of All India Anti-Terror Front or AIATF shouted anti-UK and anti-Pakistan slogans. The protesters blamed the campaign was being supported by Pakistan's Inter-Service Intelligence or ISI, which aims to fuel anti-India sentiments. A 5-member delegation of the AIATF also submitted a memorandum to the British High Commissioner.
ये टोटल रेफरेंडम उनका एक ड्रामा है, एक चुटकुला है, पर हम उनको ये बताना चाहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान के लोग हैं, एक ही रहेंगे, इनके पीछे ISI है, ये मुखट्टे हैं, पीछे पाकिस्तान ISI.
Separatist Sikh organisation Sikhs for Justice is organising the campaign London Declaration on Referendum 2020, seeking a separate Khalistan state for Sikhs. A day ahead of the protest in New Delhi, Indian Foreign Ministry said that the rally would promote communal disharmony and propagate secessionism, adding that India has already issued a couple of demarches to the UK over it.
In news from Afghanistan. Afghanistan on Thursday took control of its own airspace after inaugurating a new radar system at the international airport in Afghan capital Kabul. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said the move will pave the way for turning the country into a regional economic hub.
The Independent Civil Aviation Authority of Afghanistan on Thursday assumed full control of the country's airspace after almost 26 years. A new radar system was inaugurated in the presence of Afghan President Ashraf Ghani at Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul city. Ghani on the launch said the control of Afghanistan's airspace will pave the way for turning the country into a regional economic hub.
استقلال فضایی یکی از اهداف عمده حکومت وحدت ملی بود. امروز استقلال فضایی ما کمایی شد. هدف عمده دولتی است که افغانستان به یک چهارراه آسیا مبادل شود.
The president said that with the new system in place, air service charges will drop. According to the Independent Civil Aviation Authority, Afghanistan will have control of all flights using its airspace with the radar system now.
Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Purna Chandra Thapa, on Thursday assumed the charge of acting Army Chief. Outgoing Chief of Army Staff, General Rajendra Chetri, handed over the charge of the top post of the Nepal Army to Thapa as he went on a formal leave for 1 month before retirement.
Purna Chandra Thapa on Thursday took charge as the acting Chief of Army Staff of Nepal Army. This comes after the incumbent Chief of Army Staff of Nepal Army General Rajendra Chetri went on a formal leave for 1 month before retirement. Thapa will be sworn in as the Chief of Nepal Army next month after Chetri formally retires. He will then remain in the post of the country's top security agency for 3 years. After being anointed as the Chief of Army Staff, Thapa will be visiting India to take oath from the Chief of Indian Army Staff, a tradition followed for long.
A first-of-its-kind international youth exchange program was organized in India's Jammu and Kashmir, where 200 South Korean students visited the province to interact with local school students on Thursday. The students danced, shared cultural arts and religious prayers at the event.
As part of an international youth exchange program organized in India's Jammu and Kashmir, 200 South Korean students visited Srinagar city to interact with local school students on Thursday. The students danced, played musical instruments and shared their cultural performing arts, religious prayers and traditional games and songs. The program was organized by a South Korean-based international non-government organization, Institute of Asian Culture and Development or IACD, in collaboration with Jammu and Kashmir Joint Coordination Committee of Private Schools.
We think with we volunteers, we can continuously keep going our activity in Kashmir. Our old people feel the Kashmiri people very kindly welcome, very nice. Therefore, also this place is very beautiful. Therefore, our the people would like to come again, continuously.
और ये फर्स्ट टाइम इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ कश्मीर में है कि 200 बच्चा किसी मुल्क बाहर से आया है. इसका मकसद ये था कि वो बच्चे अपना कल्चर, अपनी एक्टिविटीज़ हमारे बच्चों के साथ शेयर करें. और आपने देखा अभी क्लासरूम में वो अपनी एक्टिविटीज़ उनको सिखा रहे हैं, कुछ दूसरे अपने कल्चरल प्रोग्राम दिखा रहे हैं. इसी तरीके से हमारे बच्चे उनको दिखा रहे हैं.
Both South Korea and Kashmir are known for its ancient culture. While Kashmiri population exhibits a strong influence of Indian culture in its art, dance, attire and music, South Korea shares its ancient culture with North Korea with adopting key elements of China.
In a bid to celebrate World Biofuel Day, a cycle rally was organized in Hyderabad city of India's southern Telangana province on Friday. The event highlighted the presence of non-fossil fuels as an alternative to conventional fossil fuels.
As part of the World Biofuel celebration, a state-level coordinator industry organized a cycle rally in Hyderabad city of India's southern Telangana province. World Biofuel Day, which is observed every year on August 10th, aims at creating awareness about the importance of non-fossil fuels as an alternative to conventional fossil fuels.
Biofuels are a safe way of protecting our environment, and also ensuring that the dependence on foreign crude oil comes down in our country. It is also an additional source of income to the farmers as they can produce a cash-rich crop. So in all ways, it's a add-on or a plus to the government. The government has planned for at least 20% of ethanol addition to the petroleum products that we use by the year 2030.
The event highlighted the various efforts made by the Indian government in the biofuel sector. Indian Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has been observing the occasion since the last 3 years.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Death toll climbs to 26 in India's flood-hit Kerala province. Indian Foreign Minister meets Swiss counterpart in New Delhi to boost bilateral ties. And Afghanistan takes control of its own airspace. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.